What is it that you expect from an anime? Are you looking to feel something by the end? Enjoy the character interactions? Do you just want to watch people's hard work and great animation and music to entertain you? Do you just like the noises it makes playing in the background until you look up and see something cool you like? Well, I weeb and I like cartoon. I like plot and boobies. And that's not what this is. Sorta. It does have story, great animation, and some other awesome things. But this anime will defy your expectations. Just like I did with my mother defying her expectations when I dropped out of college, and her realizing I was also a failure. But back to the anime. So, this is a feel-good, action-adventure fantasy story, where there are different creatures, people, and mysterious entities. In this world, being strong and heroic with warrior-like characteristics is necessary to be a king, and use these things to make up the system called Ranking of Kings. In this land, rank 7th is King Bosu. He's one of the kings of this land who has 2 sons who's sick and bedridden and in need to find who will be the next king. His son, Daida, a bit of a short-tempered but confident boy, wanting to inherit the throne, but is the second-born son, so he's jealous of his first-born brother. He feels he deserves it because he and others think that he's better in every way. Taking after his father in strength and ideals, it seems, he finds himself overshadowing his brother in this world. Speaking of his brother, the main protagonist, who is a funny but crybaby named Boji, who has enough waterworks to make Niagara Falls look as dry as the reaction from the humor I tell. See? I mean, he will cry, and cry again, but it is for a good reason. He was born unable to hear, and extremely weak. So weak, in fact, your 90-year-old grandmother can put him to shame when it comes to lifting anything, let alone a kitchen knife. This doesn't stop him, though. He is something sweet you grow to love, on top of see yourself in. At some points in time, you find yourself feeling really bad for him, or have your heart ache because you've been through the same. Rather that being picked on to the point you can't hide it anymore, and you try to stay strong in public, but can't help but weep to yourself. Or maybe feeling like you're not good enough no matter how hard you try, in an attempt to prove yourself over and over again. On top of trying to get someone you care about to notice you, all of this and more raw feelings you just don't see that much in a show, let alone an anime, and know how to react to it. And sometimes you forget that this show is just that, a show, because it may seem all too real. But Boji ain't no bitch! He fights through it, and along the way finds a friend named Kagi. Both from a grief-covered past turn to each other for happiness. Boji's kindness to Kagi and being friendly to him makes Kagi feel like he's got a bud to confide in. Kage not judging Boji and making him feel wanted and human makes Boji strong and confident. Together they set on adventures, thanks to less ideal circumstances, but nothing short of bounce off each other and learning and slaying life and foe along the way. I know, sounds kind of fun. Speaking of sound, the sound. What I really mean is the music for one. Every single moment is matched with the most fitting music number, making it feel like a flawless blend into the scenes. It makes anything and everything feel rememberable. But if I had to remember this music that came from this anime, it would be a little difficult to pinpoint it. Except the openings and endings, good lord, the second opening is straight heat. But with music, you don't realize it's so good until you don't have it. On top of the sound effects that make it seem like I'm actually in swords fights with them, it's a bit different from me in the homie sword fights. Add the voice acting on top of it and it seems better than usual? Maybe because the characters are so fleshed out, Boji sounds like a real person and actually reacts authentically. Makes me feel like he's my best friend. And the side characters are nothing to scoff at. You feel like they're real people in this world, with impact to their and Boji's lives. Their actions and words actually mean something or have consequences, and he can understand and hear these things, even though he can't technically hear. Boji's so limited he relies on his size, speed, and sight to fight and understand. And with the sights to see in this world, he is lucky he has eyes for it, because the way that this world moves visually is nothing short of great. Rather that be the animation or the still world, and include the fluid, smooth action scenes, this show is actually so impressive that I can actually feel something while watching the show. And trust me, I haven't felt anything in a long time. This show on the surface looks like it's a childish, no plot having cookie cutter show. Then, out of nowhere, it busts out with some blood and brings you harder topics and sensitive issues to light, and not shying away from difficult decisions or opinions. Real change of pace. This show makes you feel what he feels each and every step of the way. If I could explain this anime in a single word, it would be what the Gen Z kids say nowadays. It's a vibe. I don't think it's perfect, but it's a ride that I enjoyed and felt a part of. I can't say that I haven't felt this good about a show in a while. It makes you feel good, like you actually wanted to watch the show and you got something out of it. Along on top of, you get to see something that looks like it had some passion behind it. And this is a product of that. So, in my opinion, I'd give this Ranking of Kings a good old 9.5 out of 10. And ends up really defying your expectations. You'll enjoy it. Check it out. Peace.